Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk The Walking Dead Season 6 finale predictions. You guys already know I did a prediction video already for the season finale, and that's because Fox dropped the trailer a little early before we've seen episode 15. Now that we've seen episode 15, this is kind of like a companion prediction video. I'm still confident in a lot in that prediction video. I still think there's a lot there. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. In the eye up here, that's a newer thing on YouTube. Lots of people don't even know about it yet. But that eye is replacing the images that you click on. So if you're on a computer or if you're on a cell phone or a tablet or anything, click on that eye. It'll drop down and I'll leave links to videos. You could just literally click this if you're on your tablet, cell phone, computer. It doesn't matter. Another thing too, if you're into spoilers and we're talking about predictions, I see a few people saying, let me help you out. I've read spoilers. This is what happens. We don't need help. We're not looking for help. The fun for us is doing the predictions and not knowing for sure what's going to happen. So if you're into the spoilers, that's all good, but we don't want the help. I see more and more people being like, oh, you got it wrong, let's help you. We don't want the help. This is fun for us. With that said, shit. Be careful in the comments section. If you're going to comment, that's fine, but if you're going to read comments, you're doing it at your own risk. Anyway, jumping into this, I still don't know who the body is. Have no clue. You know what? And it looks like a couple different people. It doesn't look like anyone specifically, especially in Rick's group. I can't put my finger on it. And it does not look like the guy who Carol shot and he walked away with her rosary. It does not look like that guy. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. So if you guys got any thoughts or predictions on that, go ahead and put those down in the comment box. That's one thing that I am just stumped on. Another thing, so we finally see Carl in episode 15, and he did have Negan's gun. Now in the trailer, it looks like he loads up a pistol that is not the same gun as Negan's gun. The reason I'm talking about Carl and the gun is because I do believe since they showed us that, most likely they're going to have him get caught with it, and Negan's going to be like, oh, so you are the cocksuckers who, hit my outpost or whatever. Just so he knows for sure. Most likely, he already knows. It doesn't take a genius to put two and two together that he is running into all these problems, his guys are getting killed, and there's this group out here. So we see Morgan on the horse, and now we know the guy was looking for a horse, and this is starting to make sense. However, what the hell is that building to the right? It looks like a fence. At first I was thinking, man, could he possibly find another community? And they're hinting at that. Maybe they even show that. Maybe this is him heading or leaving from that community. Maybe he does find a community and this is him walking towards it. Because in the comic, one of the other new communities was called the Kingdom. And if I remember correctly, that was a high school. Well, if you look, you see the letters K-I. Is it K-I-D or just K-I? As if it says like kids something. So, and it was kind of, in an area with buildings and everything. It wasn't just deep in the country like Alexandria seems, So is this Morgan going to a new community? This is where I'm stuck on because honestly, I would have to wonder why. Why are they doing that? Right now, I'm not getting why they need Morgan and Carol to find the hilltop. But that's a possibility. It's looking like they might try to go that direction. I'm not sold on it though. Now we know after watching episode 15, they got Daryl, so maybe they do take Daryl's vest and put it on his walker as a sign, in this trap. But then I'm thinking, well, if you look at these and match them up, the stitching looks in a different place. And okay, the walker's hunched over, so maybe that gives it the effect. I don't know if that's just the hunchness of that walker or what, but yes, I do admit it does look like you could see parts of the wings in the back. Right now, I'm at a 50-50. Part of it just looks off. The rest of me says, yeah, that just might be Daryl's vest. If it is, I think it's just a sign to the survivors, like trying to mess with them. Then again, they would have to know they're coming that direction, so, but we do know they're watching them. We know that from episode 15 and 14. So the sneak peek had somebody whistling, and it had this blurry vision that looked like someone was behind like a screen door. That little grid pattern for a screen door. Well, this could be some kind of cage or whatever where Daryl's in it, or this could just be a blur effect they're doing because obviously Daryl lost blood, he just got shot. And I do believe this is Daryl, his blurry vision. I believe the whistling is most likely Dwight. It just fits that. Anyway, we go right from that blurriness to Morgan, and he's walking, and he finds a sign that says, you are alive, and then he finds a horse. This ties into the horse guy. We're going to talk about him in another video. So he gets this horse, and he goes traveling with this horse. After this, we see an image of the rosary guy, and it looks like he's following the tracks of the horse. So it does look like Morgan might be following Carol, and this guy who is essentially hunting Carol down, is actually hunting Morgan down by his tracks. So that's leading me to believe there's something there. That might be the situation for Carol and Morgan to be taken out of the Negan story. It's giving them something to do. It's building to their character. They might even hint at the kingdom or a whole new community. It's going in that direction, because I do believe the one person they saw in the barn was most likely someone from the new community. I don't believe he was a savior at this time, and I don't believe he was from the hilltop at this time. And another thing, it just seems like they're focusing on this Carol and Morgan dynamic, and it feels like it's going to come to some kind of conclusion in the end of this season. I'm not saying they're going to be done with it at the end of this season, but I do believe we're going to get some kind of, to bookend it in this season. And that's because we have Carol possibly wounded, she's traveling, Morgan following in her footsteps, and now he has a horse, so he's looking for her, and then someone who's following his tracks is the guy that Carol shot. Now this guy is shot, he is wounded, so obviously they can't drag this out too much longer, or else the dude's probably just going to bleed out. So I do believe no matter what happens, something's going to come to a head. So it's interesting how these three characters might collide at the end of this season, and I'm really interested to see what scene they have play out, because it feels like they're going for something like that. Like, do we need to kill him? Do we let him live? Do we give him a second chance? It feels like they're going that direction. Alright, so for a quick overall prediction of the episode, I do believe that Rick and gang are going to go out on the road. He's going to go with a new group to track down Michonne, to track down Glenn and Rosita and Daryl. And I think that Carl, and this is why he's clicking the gun, and I think it's because, Michonne is out there, and he's not going to sit around. Carl is going out there, and he's going to help look for Michonne. Now, so a savior could even come to Alexandria and give them a message to get them on the road. We have your people, yada, yada, yada. Or Rick and gang could just leave and say, listen, it's been too long, we got to go looking for them. That most likely is what's going to happen, because Rick isn't going to wait around forever, especially not with Michonne and Glenn and Rosita and Daryl out there, knowing him and Morgan just ran into a gang or a little cluster of saviors on the road where Carol was. So he's going to go out there with Aaron, Eugene, Abraham. He's going to go with a little mini army with Carl and Sasha, and they're going to run into the saviors on a road. Now I'm saying this is possible. One scene could come in front of the other, as far as either this scene or ending up in that little trap ambush area, but I'm just going to say they run into the saviors first. Rick wants to make a deal and get his people back, and at the end of the day, Rick is just planning on killing everybody, all the bad guys. He wants them dead, but for right now he's going to make a deal because they have Michonne in them. And that's one thing I didn't understand before I watched episode 15. Why would Rick just get out of the RV and talk with these guys? The Rick I know would just kill these guys, end of story. So he must know or assume they have Michonne. That is the only reason he didn't just say, you know what, let's just get out and kill these sons of bitches. So Rick goes out to talk to them. There's no discussing this shit with them, because the saviors just want Rick and them to submit and basically turn themselves in. And Rick isn't having it, so maybe there's some tough negotiations where they basically shoot at each other and Rick and them flee in the RV. Maybe they, and I still think they're not fleeing as in running away. I still think they're fleeing as in getting better cover, maybe flanking around. They know they're in this area now if they're talking to them, and they're going to try to kill them. And maybe it's possible that Rick and them end up on that roadway. Maybe even they do discuss and they say, well, listen, you want to go down this path here? Your people are there. We can work something out. We can do a trade. Maybe the guy was just playing hardball about how we don't do negotiations or whatever. So maybe they lure Rick and them down that pathway. They hit the walkers. Rick and them get out to kill the walkers. But that wouldn't make sense. Then they would know it's a trap if they've seen the walkers there. So maybe they just make it to that ambush site, they get ambushed, and they flee the RV. Now I'm thinking that it's starting to get dark now, and maybe they do hit the Savior's little camp where they're holding Glenn and them, and they manage to get Daryl and take him back to the RV. Now I'm saying that because they're carrying something, and I just can't put my finger on what the fuck would they be carrying. What the hell do they need to carry? It's not a box of guns, is it? Does that make sense? Because it's square in this picture here, and that's throwing me off. I cannot understand what they're carrying that's square. But the front here looks like they're carrying an injured person, and it could be Daryl. Daryl, now we know he is injured, so maybe they're taking him back to the RV. So far they got him, and they're taking him to the RV, but they screwed up because now that the RV was there, and this was Negan's whole plan, that he has his group waiting. They hit the lights, and that's why we see the RV here behind Negan, it looks like, and the Rick and group were running towards it carrying something, and lights turn on. So I'm thinking that's kind of sort of how that goes. Basically, they're out there looking for Michonne and gang, and they run into Saviors. There's gunfire back and forth. They get ambushed. They leave. They sneak up on the Saviors. Maybe they get Daryl. Maybe they even get Michonne. I don't know. Maybe they just get Daryl and they get out of there, and then they go back to the RV, maybe to put Daryl there and go back for the others. Who knows? And that's when Negan is laying to wait. I still believe that that is definitely possible, that they could set a trap, have the RV come there, and then Negan would post up if they leave the RV. That could be something else too. They can leave the RV and not realize that Negan knows about it. There could be a shootout where Sasha snipes the Saviors in the tree lines. So they have that pop off, and Rick and them are like, well, listen, we're close, let's go on foot. They manage to get Daryl or attack the camp, something, and on their way back to the RV, bong, Negan sets his trap, the lights come on, and then they line them up, and one of them is going to get beat to death. Definitely. Now, I already said my piece on Morgan, the horse Carol, and the guy carrying the rosary. I do believe that the Morgan-Carol dynamic might introduce a new community, and it's basically going to end, in my opinion, with a final showdown between two people who do not want to kill right now, and a guy who is on a death revenge mission who's just after Carol and them to kill him. Maybe he might even turn this around and be like, you know what, listen, can you just take me to your place and heal me up? I'll tell you everything I know about the Saviors. Who knows? But I think he's most likely just going to go after him to kill him. Oh, I should mention this too. When the trap is sprung, yes, I do believe for sure they're going to be bringing out Glenn, Michonne, Daryl. I'm still thinking maybe they're taking Daryl, Glenn, or Rick and them. That's who they're carrying. If they're not, they're definitely going to bring out Daryl, who's probably just going to be a bloody, passed out mess, and they'll bring Rosita out. So the lineup here is going to be pretty damn epic. It's going to be, Rick, Carl, Michonne, Abraham, Sasha, Aaron, Eugene. Eugene's shirt actually looked like they could be carrying him too, and he was recently shot, so I don't know. But anyhow, who else didn't I mention? They got Glenn, they got, did I mention Rosita? But anyway, it's going to be a badass lineup here, and Negan's going to pick one, so this is freaking epic. Another thing too is, speaking of Maggie, she could even be added to the lineup. That's absolutely possible, because Maggie might be trying to go to the hilltop. She had those pains. Something's wrong, and there's no doctor anymore, and this is what's perfect. And this is a great setup for taking out Denise. Now Maggie must go to the hilltop. She has these severe pains, and she got to figure out what's wrong so she doesn't lose her baby. So she's definitely going to be going to the hilltop. So maybe she goes without incident, or maybe this is just in here to get Maggie to move to the hilltop. But regardless, if she either goes and that's all, or she goes and she gets caught and she gets added to the lineup, or whoever's going with her, like Enid might get added to the lineup as well. That would make a lot of sense if they were trying to make something very similar to the comic. I think this is absolutely epic, and I'm not going to sit here and pick apart the ending on who dies. I think we just need to go in this and just be shocked. We're going to be blown away regardless. Seeing what they're doing now, I'm thinking this is going to be one hell of a season finale. And a lot of us might truly be shocked. I mean, absolutely shocked. Listen, give me your thoughts and predictions. Again, be careful in the comment box. If you're one of those people who are going to post a spoiler anyway, if you do a spoiler tag, you'll help other fans out there. So just help them out. Other than that, thoughts and opinions, predictions, theories, everything down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.